Welcome to the Belly Brain Connection. I'm Hannah Winans, and I'm on a mission to help educate people about the connection between their gut health and mental well being. At least 90% of our serotonin and 70% of our immune cells reside in our guts. I believe that our gut health is the cornerstone to our overall health, and when we nourish our bodies, we nourish our minds. Belly Brain is for informational purposes only. I'm not offering medical advice here. If you need medical advice, please consult your physician. Welcome back. This is episode 27. Thank you so much for tuning in. Last episode, we covered a little bit about hydration and just the importance of overall hydration in your nutrition and in operating your body and also in your gut health. So I hopefully you learned a little bit there, and we talked a little bit about some of the foods that are the most hydrating foods, which there were some prizes there. So if you are interested in that, go back to episode 26 and check it out. There was also a really good interview that I posted, a video that I posted on a YouTube channel that I watched with Dr. Andrew Huberman, and he talks about the importance of hydration. So for today, though, I thought we would talk a little bit about what we're putting on our skin and how that is affecting our gut health, and also just some of the environmental toxins around us. I did an episode a while back on how our gut health actually affects our skin health, and so how a lot of conditions like rosacea, eczema, acne, a lot of those are actually can be there's a correlation between those skin issues and people's gut health and what you're eating. So I thought that was all pretty interesting. But this time around, I want to reverse it and talk a little bit about what we're putting on our skin that might be affecting us internally. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that. And then since I'm on the skin topic, it might be fun to talk about some foods that are really good for your skin. So we'll kind of run over a list of those. I wanted to kind of update you guys on something not really skin related, but I thought that was interesting. That might be helpful to you if you have to go with a round of antibiotics. So personally, I had some dental work done recently, and I had to go on an antibiotic for it. I didn't have an infection, but it was like a preventative measure. And I really didn't want to, because if you listen to my past episodes, you know that I've talked about how antibiotics, while they're life-saving and we need them, that when you do a round of antibiotics, it could definitely kind of blow up your gut microbiome. And I've done so much work to get my gut health in shape the thought of going on an antibiotic just makes me cringe. But this time around, I felt like I was really prepared. So I'll just share with you, this is just a personal story, but I went a round of antibiotics and I actually came out of it feeling pretty good. And I don't feel like my gut health was disrupted from it. But I kind of took some precautionary measures. So one of the things that I did was I typically get my probiotics from food. So I don't usually do well with a pill probiotic for whatever reason. It doesn't seem to work in my body the way that I want it to. So I really focus on foods that have rich sources of prebiotic and probiotics. But I have found a probiotic that I really like, that I've been kind of experimenting with, and it's a mixture of prebiotics, probiotics, and it's called Viome, Viome. So V is in Victor. And I've been trying that out for a few months, and I really, really like it. And so I didn't really want to talk about it until I tested it out myself. And I'm not selling this. I'm not sponsored or anything like that. I'm just sharing with you this information. So it's something that I've been experimenting with, and also making sure that I eat rich probiotic foods, fermented foods. So this time around with this antibiotic, I had researched, how can you take probiotics when you're taking antibiotics? And it's all very confusing. And some of the research says, it's fine to take probiotics while taking antibiotics, but you want to space them out. Now there's some new research coming out that says that actually it could make it harder for your gut microbiome to bounce back if you're taking antibiotics, if you're taking probiotics with antibiotics. Totally confusing. So I just figured, I'm going to do what I feel is right and try it out. So I made sure that I had this probiotics, this Viome probiotics that I'd already been taking, but I kind of changed up the way that I was taking them. So because I had to run this course of antibiotics, I had to take them like 4 times a day. I would wait and take my probiotic at night, pretty far away from when I took the antibiotic, the last antibiotic of the day. And then I also made sure that I was eating foods. I upped all the probiotic rich and prebiotic rich foods that I eat. So I made sure that I was getting a lot of yogurt in there. I was making sure I was getting my sauerkraut, my fermented stuff that I love. And even like cottage cheese. Cottage cheese, you can, a lot of it is actually has probiotics in it. So I just really kind of paid attention to that. And on top of that, because it was some pretty intense dental work, there wasn't a lot that I could eat. So which even made it harder. So I was really worked up about like, oh my gosh, all this work that I've done over these years, and now it's going to be wiped out in 1 week. And that's not the case. So, but I really do think it's because I kind of took it into my own hands and really tried to think about incorporating the probiotics into my diet and just making sure I was kind of spacing the food and everything kind of around each pill that I would take. So, if you are somebody who's worked on their gut health like I have, and you get the news that you have to go on an antibiotic, it's a big deal. And, I definitely was not happy about it. Tried to talk the surgeon out of it. And he's like, no, you have to take them. So yeah, there's things that you can do, and I actually feel pretty good. So I'm not getting any of the symptoms that I have had before when I've had to take antibiotics in the past. So a little hope there for you. Like I said, I don't know if this is the exact way you should be doing it. I'm not a doctor. I just decided I would kind of experiment on myself, and I'm feeling pretty good. So anyways, that's totally off topic from what we're really going to talk about today. But anytime I have kind of any information related to gut health, I want to share it with you. Okay, let's talk about products, I'm going to say toxic products that we're putting on our skin and we have around us that could be disrupting our gut health. A lot of these kind of skin products, cleaning products, things that are around us, they're called EDCs, so they can contain EDCs, which are endocrine disrupting chemicals that can interfere with hormone function and gut microbiome balance. These toxins can cause inflammation, disrupt digestion, and contribute to conditions such as leaky gut syndrome, metabolic disorders, and hormonal imbalances. The gut and endocrine system work closely together. When toxins damage one, the other is affected too. And this was information that I pulled off of actually another nutrition counselor's website. What is her name? I really liked what she had to say. Jessica Mantel. So for me, I love beauty products. I love all the things. I'm definitely, I like lotions, potions, smellies, things. I mean, I've just, as a kid, I remember one of my favorite things to do was to go to the drugstore and just like go up and down the cosmetic and lotion aisle. And, so I've loved all that stuff since I was little. And, but I'm really, probably the past 5 years or so, I've really been trying to I'm not going to limit the products that I use, because I feel like the older I get, the more I'm using, but I'm a little more careful about what I'm putting on my skin. And, we really need to remember that our skin is our biggest organ in our body, and what we're putting on it does get absorbed into our bloodstream. And that's why things like hormone patches work, right? That's why pain creams work. That's why like essential oils work, right? We can absorb things through our skin, and we're just surrounded in a world full of all kinds of man-made, chemical-laden things. And it's overwhelming to try to avoid all those. So for me, I just kind of look at it as, what are the small things that I can do? What are some things that I'm doing on a daily basis that I'm doing over and over and over again, that I have control over? Kind of, maybe look for a safer option. So when we're talking about skin, you're looking at beauty products and lotions and even sunscreens. You'll see a lot of times on bottles it'll say paraben free, sulfate free. And that's actually pretty important. I really didn't understand what those things were and how they can affect our, not only our skin health, but our overall health. And so I kind of, that means more to me now when I see that. And, I think for me, for lotions, I'm just trying to really go for things that, have the least amount of chemicals in them as possible, are sulfate free, and don't have parabens. And also, I'm looking at things that, as much as I love yummy smelling things, I'm trying to use less of those. So I do wear a perfume, but it's at least it's all kind of natural essential oils. But I know there's a lot of people who don't even do that anymore, and you have to be careful with perfume because it can be offensive to other people around you. So, but looking at the products and just trying to get as clean, as simple as possible. And for me, I like, my favorite soap that I use is Dr. Bronner's soap, and you're probably kind of familiar with it. And it comes in the big bottle. It was like the hippie soap, right, from back in the day. And he's got, I don't know what, I haven't been able to ever read the fine print on the bottle, but the whole bottle is covered in like wellness. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a cult. I'm not sure what Dr. Bronner's is up to, but it's like life lessons and sayings and quotes and all kinds of stuff on the bottle. But I use that. My One of my favorites is the almond version of that, and the base is coconut oil, and I think some of them maybe have Castile soap in them, but that's my go-to, and I found that. And you can get a big bottle of it, and it's pretty inexpensive, and then you can refill it. So it's just a switch that I made years ago, kind of drifting away from like the Dove products and things like that. There's just so many chemicals when you start really paying attention, even into just basic soap. So, and I've noticed that when I use that soap, I don't need to use lotion as much. I think maybe because it's got the coconut oil in it, that's hydrating the skin more. And the other thing I've noticed with lotion, I don't really have dry skin. So, but I've noticed when I'm using a lot of lotion, it seems almost to make it worse. So, we have to remember that we have a microbiome on our skin, and anytime we're putting anything on there, there's a chance that we could be disrupting that. So, I found when I start getting on like the lotion kick, it's actually not that helpful. So, adding more lotion doesn't seem to help, like on my general, like my hands and my feet. So, maybe when I really get off balance and I'm really, it's winter and I'm dry, I'll go to it. But it's just kind of something interesting I've been noticing. I've been able to get away with a lot less lotion since I've been using better products. So just a thought there. I switched, it was all like super personal, you guys, but I switched to a natural deodorant, and didn't think I could handle it. But it's again the same thing. Like, I've noticed the less chemically products I use, the less I need them. For makeup, I wear makeup. I just keep trying to reach for things that at least are, have, say that they're paraben free. I know there's some really good vegan friendly products. There's a lot of stuff out there that is much, much better made these days. Sunscreen, I'm sure you've heard, if you're into kind of following things in this health space, that a lot of people are, sunscreen has all of a sudden become really controversial. I don't know that much about it. I just did listen to an amazing, amazing interview, and I'm not finished with it yet, with a doctor who is basically, it's an interview on Dr. Andrew Huberman's podcast, and he's talking about how we need sunlight and how we need sun on our skin. And so kind of ties into this movement I've been seeing where people are kind of like anti-sunscreen. I don't know about that. I am researching it because I'm really interested in it. But for me, I've just found more natural versions of sunscreen too. So again, it's overwhelming when you think about the toxins that are around us, that are in our homes, that are in our clothes. But there's small choices that we can make, and we have to always go back to, everything's connected in our bodies. So if one thing is off, something else is off. So if you're having issues with your skin, there's a good chance that that's showing up in other places in your body. Just like when you've got gut disruption, it's showing up in your skin. So the more that we can do to keep everything in balance, the better. Some of the things that are around us, I thought I would talk a little bit about the toxic home products and their dangers. Again, I always was the person that loved the whatever new cleaner was out that was being advertised. Didn't really think too much about chemicals in them, bleaching everything, just really not caring. I just want things clean and sterile. And clean's great, sterile might not be the thing that we need to strive for. And so I have switched to greener, less chemical laden cleaning products at my house, and try to go more natural whenever I can, because I'm doing the primarily, I'm the one who cleans the bathrooms. I'm inhaling that stuff. So it's just kind of being aware. So some natural solution or natural alternatives I'm reading off my research list would be using vinegar. Cleaning windows with vinegar and water. It works really, really well. I'm not always that together to where I can, I have Windex at my house right now, but when I'm feeling extra crunchy, which is that term that I think I talked about a while ago, when I'm being super natural, I will go for vinegar and water. Baking soda works really well. Essential oils. There's non-toxic brands. I like the green. That what's it called? The green cleaner. It's really green, but like the color's green. I can't think of the name of it. Has an interesting smell. I like to use that. And then I just found there's a hysterical lady who does like commercials on TV, and she's great. She's got like this crazy blonde hair, and she's definitely like from the East Coast, and clean boss is her thing, and her company. And I just ordered some of their spray soap, and I really like it. It's pretty non-toxic, so seems to work really well. And I'm trying out her laundry sheets. So instead of the pods, which are so easy and convenient, right? Which I feel like those things are, those like Tide Pods, I feel like they're super concentrated. I don't know. I started kind of thinking about, I think it might be too much. And I think the same thing's happening with those dishwasher pods. I'm starting to wonder that those might be extreme versions of what we're used to, like extremely concentrated. And maybe those are some things we need to avoid, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm trying her dryer, or not dryer, they're laundry sheets, but they look like dryer sheets. And you just throw them in the laundry, and you don't have all that plastic you're dealing with. And they seem to be working really well. So that's more to come on that. I'll come back to you when I feel solid in saying, yeah, these are really great products. But I'm kind of excited about them because I am trying, to reduce the amount of toxins that we're using in and around us. The other thing that I've been doing, okay, so plastic food containers and wraps. I I'm starting to become that person that I never thought I would be, where I'm paying so much attention to all this stuff. But I invested in some glassware instead of storing everything in Tupperware. And because I just started worrying about the plastic and then heating food up in the plastic, and like in the microwave. So these are all small changes we can make, right? So a little more expensive, but they last longer. And I've got these really beautiful, just they look like Tupperware containers, but they're glass. And there's something about when I put the food in them, I feel fancier. I feel like I'm respecting my food more when I put them in a glass container. I don't know if that sounds super weird to you, but um so we've switched those out. So we don't have a lot of Tupperware. I shouldn't say Tupperware, but you know what I mean. The Rubbermaid, the plastic type products with lids. We don't have a lot of that in our house anymore. And I am using plastic wrap pretty sparingly. So not that we don't use it at all, but I think about it a little bit. Like, do I really need to like wrap this like delicious, beautiful cheese that I bought at, Costco, that's from Europe? Do I want to wrap it up in a bunch of cellophane? Or is it better to put it in my little glass jar and not have it absorb all that plastic, even though it came in plastic? So who knows? But it's just being aware and making little choices. Nonstick cookware is another toxin. I'm trying to make that switch to better alternatives. I have some stainless steel pots and pans. It's just hard because everything does stick to them. And I do have a cast iron skillet that I got, that I'm kind of learning the ways of the skillet. And so I've been trying to cook more in those things, trying to use wooden spoons, bamboo stirring spoons. We have some plastic cutting boards. I'm trying not to use those as much, trying to use the wood ones that we have when I can. There's so many things that have come our way, our world, that make things easier, but are they really safe? And it's almost like once you kind of start down that road, you start really looking at everything around you. But I don't want to sound like that crazy person who won't eat off a plastic fork. That's not what's happening here. It's just trying to make those changes where I can. Another big one that I think a lot of us aren't really thinking about are air fresheners and candles. So I love a scented candle, but we're using them a lot more sparingly now, and really looking for more natural candles that are have natural fragrance. And And by natural, you do have to be kind of careful on what does natural mean, but more like essential oils, soy candles, those kinds of things. Those can be a much better alternative than say like the Glade plug-in things. I mean, we don't know what we're, if you can feel it, if you can breathe it, it's affecting you. So yeah, just pay attention to those things. That was about it. I didn't want to talk too long about it. I just thought I would, kind of bring a little bit of awareness to not only is it what we're eating that's affecting our health, but it's what we're surrounding ourselves with and what we're breathing in and what we're putting on our skin. And paying attention to those little things. There's a I can't think of his name right now, but he wrote a book. It's kind of a self-help book, and he basically says that you can make small changes matter. They stack up. Anything above zero compounds. Just if there's something that you're doing daily, maybe pick one thing. Maybe you have a lotion that you love and you're lathering yourself up in every day. Check the ingredients. See if that's really the best option for you. Maybe there's something better that you can use and make that change. If you're heating up all your stuff in plastic Tupperware every day, switch it out. Try to do it just on a plate, like take it out of the Tupperware and put it on a plate and heat it up, or invest in some glassware. Just those little things that can stack up. Those changes can make a difference. Let's see. So since we talked a little bit about skin, and if we're putting products on our skin, then that's probably because we want our skin to feel good and look good. And I can't leave the podcast without, of course, talking about food and some of the things that we might want to eat to help our skin look good. So I'm pretty vain. So anything that I hear that might make me look better, I'm going to pay attention to. But some of the foods, I didn't really do a food of the week. I thought I would just kind of do a food list of some things that you could be making sure you get into your diet if you are wanting to improve your skin health. So number one on my list are red bell peppers. They are full of vitamin C, and the vitamin C can help stimulate collagen, which is basically a building block for the skin. And so, of course, you hear about collagen all the time. And so anything that we can do to boost collagen is going to be helpful. Blackberries. Blackberries are rich in polyphenols. Polyphenols are antioxidants that can help prevent cell damage. I've been eating more blackberries lately because I learned this from an actual nutritionist, that the berries that have the most seeds in them have the most polyphenols in them. So I love blueberries, and blueberries are great for you, but something like a strawberry or I think it was polyphenols that they said they had. Strawberries or blackberries, the more seedier ones, have a little more of the stuff that we want for our skin in them. So I've been doing a mixed berry blend. Instead of, I was getting the like organic frozen blueberries from Costco, and now I'm doing the organic fruit blend. So, and that's got blackberries, blueberries, and strawberries in it. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. Carrots, we all know how much I love carrots. Oh, by the way, I've been cutting my carrots up and slicing them in half, crossways and long ways. And then I put them in my skillet. I put some olive oil down in the bottom of my cast iron skillet, put the carrots on top, drizzle it with more olive oil, and then drizzle it with balsamic vinegar. And I roast them in the oven. It's so good. So if you like carrots, that's another way to try them out. But carrots have a lot of beta carotene in them. And beta carotene is actually an antioxidant that turns into vitamin A, and it can help. It says here it can help prevent acne breakouts, which is interesting, but also reduces wrinkles and protect from sunburns. It can help you have a healthy glow too. We talked about carrots in one episode, and eating too many of them can give you carotenemia, which can make you turn orange. So I think you have to eat a lot of carrots to get there. Grapes contain resveratrol, another molecule with estrogen-like effects. So grapes may slow skin aging and help prevent dark spots from forming on the skin. This is from GoodRx, is where I got this information from. Almonds have omega-3 fatty acids, so we know that those are really, really good for our skin health. And also, almond skin contains polyphenols that can also act as additional protection for the skin as a natural sunblock. Salmon is a skin superfood. It is packed with astaxanthin, And that's an antioxidant that may help improve skin elasticity and hydration. It's also super high in vitamin D, which is important for skin cell growth and repair. And yeah, it's basically but I think with the salmon, it's mostly the omega-3 fatty acids that can help prevent the skin damage from the sun. And they also help lower inflammation. Broccoli is rich in lutein, that can help protect your skin from dryness and wrinkling caused by oxidative damage. And it also contains, the extract called sulforaphane helps repair damaged skin, they found in one study. And water. I drink a lot of water, and I notice a huge difference when I'm off my water game. It shows up in my skin right away. So, just keep drinking your water, stay hydrated. And let's see, I think there was one more. Oh, green tea. Okay, so I've heard amazing things about green tea, and why I have such a hard time getting this into my diet, I have no idea. It just seems to be, maybe I just don't really like the taste of it. So but I try, like every once in a while, I'm like, okay, this is the week I'm going to drink my green tea instead of my coffee. It's not happening. But I'm going to try a little bit more after reading this because, again, like I said, I'm vain. And if I find out it can make me look better, then I might try it. It contains an antioxidant, and it's going to be really hard to say, efigallosatachine 3 gallate, EGCG, that may be especially powerful in preventing age-related skin damage. And that, I start to think of some of the cultures where they drink a lot of green tea and think about the skin in those cultures and how beautiful it is, right? I mean, I definitely think that there's a correlation there between people who drink a lot of green tea and how that's showing up in their skin. Okay, what are the worst foods for skin health? Refined carbohydrates, of course, baked goods, crackers, cereal. It's pretty instant for me. I mean, it doesn't take long for all my sins to show up in my skin. So if I have a couple of days where maybe I've had too much alcohol and I'm not drinking my water and I'm not eating the good stuff and I'm, eating the bad stuff. Yeah, a couple of days and then my skin starts to show it right away and I'll break out like it's pretty incredible to me. So, processed meats, they say that those are high in sodium, which is dehydrating, and that could be a problem. Fried foods, alcohol also can cause rosacea flares. So if you suffer from rosacea, you might notice that when you drink that your rosacea flares up because it dilates the blood vessels. So I don't know, lots of information there for you guys. A little bit was all over the place today, but the main point was just that I wanted to get that across, that our skin health affects our gut health, just like our gut health affects our skin health. And when you keep that in mind, and if you're working on your gut health, then that will hopefully inspire you to make better choices, or at least make a few changes. For next week or next episode, I want to kind of go back to the start, as far as what inspired me to create Belly Brain. And it's been a while since I've really talked about the metabolic theory for mental health, and how people are actually using metabolic therapy to cure mental health issues. And it's powerful stuff. And because it's an intense topic and it's deep and it's a little personal to me, it's I've kind of conveniently gotten away from it a little bit and trying to bring other things kind of related to gut health. But I feel inspired to kind of come back to the root of why I'm on this mission. And so we're going to do a 2-part series where I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into the metabolic mind group that I follow, and also that metabolic health and mental health connection. So stay tuned. I will see you all next episode. I hope this helps, and I hope you have a great week. And I just hope you stay inspired to take care of yourself, make those small changes, and you deserve to feel good, and you have some power over that. So have a great week, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.